Jeepers creepers, what are these gauges doing? And the key's not even in it. Well, there's the problem. The battery terminals are very corroded. I know it's tempting to just pour baking soda water on it, but we're going to be a little bit more thorough than that. Here's a quick tip for working in the battery area of a Jeep. Just go ahead and lay the hood up on the windshield and it gives you a lot more access to things. So the first thing I did was remove the cables from the terminal connectors and push them out of the way so they don't get snagged or accidentally hit the battery again. After getting the battery out of the car, I took the connectors off the terminals and I'm going to dunk them in some baking soda water here to get them all nice and clean. Look at it fizz. And I'll just set that aside while I work on the battery. So some people will go ahead and just pour some baking soda water on top of the battery at this point, but you really don't want to do that because if you happen to get any of the baking soda water down inside the cells, well, that'll just neutralize the battery acid and kill the battery dead flat. So the best thing to do is to take a brush and just brush all the gunk off the top of the battery. You want to get the thing really nice and clean because the grime on top of the battery can actually cause a little bit of like discharge of the battery. Now you might be wondering why corroded battery terminals could cause bouncing gauges, but it kind of makes a lot of sense because everything's controlled by the PCM, and if the PCM is reading too low of a voltage, you know, it could do all sorts of wacky things with the car. So not only do we need to clean this battery, but we're going to be checking out the health of it too in a little bit. Now we're going to pop the caps off of the cells and make sure that they still have plenty of water in them. You got to be very careful and clean the grime out from around the cells. We don't want to drop anything in there. And it might be hard to tell on the camera, but these cells are definitely low on water. And that's not surprising considering that we had all that corrosion, because corrosion is coming from the outgassing of the battery. Now I've got some distilled water here and I'm going to very carefully fill up the cells. You just want to bring the water up to just the bottom of that plastic vent tube there. So now that we have the water topped off and the caps back on, I'm going to take a little bit of baking soda water and just dab it around the terminals. We're not trying to wash down the entire battery here. We're trying to do like spot cleaning. That way we're sure not to get any baking soda water down in around those cells. And as you can see, it's fizzing up nice and good, getting that remainder of corrosion residue off. Now I'm going to wipe everything off and we have a shiny brand new looking battery. Let's take a battery post cleaner and get these battery posts looking nice and shiny again. And I'll drop a link down below in the description of all the different stuff I'm using, so you can pick one up for yourself. So I'm going to throw the battery on the battery charger here while I work on some other stuff. I've brought my baking soda water over to the Jeep and I'm going to use it to make sure there's no corrosion residue on the cables themselves. We got to make sure they're clean before we put them back on the terminal connectors. And I'm just going to swirl them around in here a little bit, just make sure that there's no fizzing. And both of them are actually looking pretty clean, so that's good. And I'm going to hit both of them with the wire brush just to make sure that we get a good connection back on the terminals. And let's dump out the connectors now, rinse them off, and inspect them really well. Now I did wire brush these things a bit, and what's left of them did clean up nice, but as you can tell, the corrosion just really ate these things up. I'm going to have to replace the terminals. Now it didn't take too long and the battery's fully charged, so let's test it out now. So y'all have seen me use this battery tester before. You hook it up to the terminals and it shows the resting voltage, and then you hit the switch and it applies a resistive load, and oh Jesus. Yeah, that's not good. This battery is definitely showing pretty bad. But this actually gives me a good opportunity to try out a battery charger that I've been meaning to test out. It promises to actually recondition batteries, so let's give it a try. Alright, so I've been meaning to do a dedicated review on this battery charger that I was sent, but I just haven't got around to it. So, you know, while we have this weak battery here, let's give it a shot. Let's get this condom off of here. It's the Hulkman Sigma 5 battery charger. 5 amp universal adaptive charging with artificial intelligence. That's the buzzword everybody's using today. Multi-voltage, multi-battery type, multi-device compatibility, automatically run battery maintenance with no risk of overcharge. Compatible with lead acid, AGM, lithium, wet gel, maintenance-free EFB and calcium batteries, best suited for charging and maintaining cars and SUVs. Also works with a wide range of devices including motorcycles, trucks, ATVs, PWCs, and boats. It's got high temp protection, short circuit protection, reverse polarity protection, overcurrent protection and overvoltage protection. I feel very protected, don't you? And one of the things that I thought was interesting about this particular battery charger is it says it can restore batteries. And I guess that's what we're going to test out on this guy right here. Make power different. Wow. They're really going all out on the packaging of this thing. I just hope it works. It's pretty tiny. Have a tiny little flap. Oh, look at that. Get to peel off the front. I guess the actual battery clamps are in here. Yep, here we go. Fused battery clamps, that's kind of nice. Oh, and we have little ring terminals too. And what the heck is this? This is so you can mount it on your wall? Okay, all right. That's kind of cool, I guess. Looks like that's all that's in this box. I don't think I'm going to be mounting it to the wall, but you know, I guess it's an interesting feature. Let's take a look at this little instruction booklet here. Oh, 1 more year extended warranty. Okay. Important safety instructions. We don't care. We have all the charging modes, error indicators, how to plug the thing in. I think we got that. So I think this is what we're going to shoot for right now. We want the 12-volt repair. It's for sulfated old idle lead acid batteries. All right, so the usage steps are pretty straightforward. You connect it to the clamps, you connect it to the power, and you connect it to the battery. You select your mode by pressing the mode button, and then you press the OK button. They're calling it the confirm button in the instructions, but you know, whatever. Wait 10 seconds and it goes. All right, let's try this thing out. Oh, it has nice little Velcro straps on the cables. They're really trying to go for a premium feel on this thing, aren't they? Your battery clamps just plug into here, nice and easy. You know, these clamps don't seem very heavy duty, but I think it only outputs like 5 amps at the most, so this is fine for that. And the cable is nice and long too, so that's kind of cool. Hate battery chargers with short cables. Contact! Alright, it's displaying the current voltage, which that's actually pretty good. You know, it's holding the charge from the other battery charger. Well, what's it doing? I think we need to select our mode. I think we gotta be faster in like selecting our mode here. 12 volt, 12 volt AGM, 12 volt lithium, 6 volt. Well, we want 12 volt. How do we get it to do 12 volt repair? Ah, okay. Press and hold to get it go into 12 volt repair. Nice. All right, well, I guess it's going. All right, so according to the instructions, it can take anywhere from 1 hour to 4 hours for this thing to go all the way up. The little flashing indicator here indicates each hour, basically up to 1, 2, 3, 4, how long it's gonna take or how far along it is. So I guess we'll be back in like 4 hours. All right, it's been about 3 or 3.5 hours, and you can see it's on its last little blip of the meter there. Checking the temperature of this guy. It's pretty warm. 110, 111, but checking the battery seems fine. That's just ambient temp. So it's not overheating the battery. That's really nice. Well, we'll let this thing keep going for a bit longer. Well, I fell asleep while it was doing its thing, and it stayed on the charge overnight. But for right now, I think I'm going to take the battery off the charger and let it rest for a few hours, and then we'll test it again. All right, so I've had the battery resting here for about 4 or 5 hours, so now we can test it out and see how it actually does. All right, it's showing about 13 volts. Wow, that's pretty good. Let's hit the button to test it. Oh man, look at that. That is amazing. And it comes back to about, what was that, 12.3? Yeah, that's pretty good. So I guess this guy actually does what it's supposed to. That's really kind of amazing. I'll have a link for these guys down in the description below if you want to get one for yourself. Well, let's get this battery back in the car. So I got the battery back in with the new connectors and also have it bolted down nice and securely. And we're ready to test it out. So we already have power and there's no bouncing gauges. That's a good start. And she fires right up. That's awesome. Good job, Hulkman. Hey, check out this awesome 124 shirt. Veloce. You can find this design and many others in my spread shop, which should be displaying below the video. And if not, I'll drop a link to it in the description below. But hey, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to win this shirt or any other t-shirt you want from my spread shop. I need you to do 3 things for me. First and foremost, hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. Then I need you to leave a comment below saying you want the shirt. And then third, I want you to go to bookautoworks.com and subscribe to the blog. And be sure to put the correct email address in because that's how I'll notify the winner. Well, bye. Thanks for watching. I'll pick the winner in like 2 weeks from this video. See you guys next time.